Soul Fantasy Show, Soul Fan Show. Hey, it's the Soul Fantasy Show live for May 19th, 2020. Going over the top picks, plays, and studs for Draftkings and Fanduel. If you already haven't, please subscribe to this channel. So we're going to go over the game. It's Cleveland OKC. It's a 3 p.m. Eastern time slate. The top stud of the day is Andre Drummond. Let's go to him. His backup position is Tristan Thompson and Dean Wade, not Dwayne Wade. He's 9.8 on FanDuel if you ever need that price. So that's his plus minus is 191. Usage rate 26. Okay, it's a pretty nice usage rate. Made a lot of field goals. 418 out of 784. Okay, there's some statistics that he has. A lot of assists, 109 steals. He does it all. Block 93. Block percentage 4. Okay. He fouls and turns the ball over. But he is the very, very high sought-after player today. He has a very weak matchup. He's getting at least 1.5 fantasy points per minute. He has a 50% chance to hit 5 times value. He will get you at least 50 fantasy points. If not 60, could get more than 60. 12%, that's pretty high. Right under him, you have Chris Paul. He only has a 2% chance to get 60, but he is $600 cheaper. And he has a very good chance to get 45 to 60 fantasy points. A little bit tougher matchup. Only a 5% chance at 5 times value. It's projected right around 37, so he's a little expensive today. We have Kevin Love. 48% chance to get 30 to 45 fantasy points. Let's see how some of his stats, what he's been doing. All right, so his plus minus is negative 268. True shooting percentage 60. Field goals 327. All right, nice big amount of rebounds. He's a very good rebounder. Okay, 33 steals. His steals aren't that high. Blocks aren't that high. So he's going to get you his rebounding and shots. This is what Kevin Love's going to get you. So he's a really good option today. He's cheaper than Chris Paul. He's projected basically the same as Chris Paul. He has a little bit easier matchup than Chris Paul. He has a higher percentage chance to get 5 times value than Chris Paul. And he can get you 50. He can get you 50. 45 to 60 is very likely. 25% chance. But he's still 9.4. So if you want to save money, you have these 3 guys here. Colin Sexton, SGA, and Dennis Schroeder. So Schroeder, very good chance to get 30 to 45 fantasy points. Same matchup as Paul. 1 fantasy point per minute. So that's all right. May not hit 5 times value, but he might hit 4 times value to get you around 31.3 fantasy points. Sexton, a better chance. It says he's lower. It says 30.9 projected, but according to this, he should get about 30 to 45 fantasy points. He's getting 1 fantasy point per minute, and he has an easier matchup than Dennis Schroeder. Now, SGA has very high percentage chance to get 65, 45, 50. He might get you a 50 burger. I have no problem with playing him today. We can't go over the last games, really, because, it's computer generated. But this just seeing the last 5 against LAC might affect the computer. 33-47. So he's getting that 35. Sorry, that's Schroeder. So let's see some of his stats. So he's 7,000 on FanDuel, if you need to know that. All right, plus minus of 148. True shooting attempts, 1K. All right, those are his attempts. Pretty good amount of rebounds. A lot of assists, a good average, a nice amount of block shots, and a lot lower turnovers than Drummond. So, if you want to avoid turnovers, SGA is the way to go. It's a little bit easier matchup than his counterparts. I think he's going to hit 5 times value. I would ignore that. So you have Daniel Giannardi, and the second center option, Tristan Thomas. Wow, Giannardi has a very good chance to get 30 to 45 fantasy points for 7K. I'm all in for him. He's the sole sleeper of the day. 40, 23, 34, 27, 35, 23, 38, 45, 32, 41, 21. Some simulated numbers there. He's definitely getting 30. All right. Is it 5 times value? No. But is it 4.5 times value? Yes. He's getting 1.05 fantasy points per minute. So then you have Steven Adams, Larry Nance, Kevin Porter, the low end of the totem pole. And here we'll go over our C2 for the Thunder today. You have Adams, he's the one, but, he is only 4,200 on Fanduel. He has a good amount of minutes. His usage rate percentage is 15. That's good for a lower priced player. Very, very high field goal percentage, almost 70%. All right, getting a good amount of rebounds. Okay, lower on the assist end. Very low on turnovers. So for him, if he gets the minutes, which he may not, he might be a good option. To get you 20 to 30 fantasy points for 4K. I mean, you got to go some low balls. So these are the very low balls. Terrace Ferguson going to get you 10 fantasy points. So you might as well go with SGA. All right, he has a plus minus of 114. All right. So the field goals, only 200 field goals attempted, 73 rebounds. So you can get some rebounds for that price. He's not turning the ball over that much, but he fouls a lot. All right, so if you want to go there with that price, he's 3,500 on DK, but according to this, he is only 1,800. He's going to hit 5 times value, though. So if you want to put Terrence Ferguson in, or, okay, that's the high value end. So you have a couple guys that might get 10 times value. That's Dort, Delanadova, Zarek. So you can get a 35 for $1,000, dude. All right, so there you go. Delanadova, most likely he's going to get you 12 fantasy points. But let's take this X off because I'm liking these lower price guys, not necessarily these guys other than Terrence Ferguson. But some of these guys here, definitely Noel. I would not play Cedi Osman or Garland. Garland for 6'6", 20 fantasy points, very out of my field. So, but Nance, here we go. Larry Nance, 5 times value, it's saying. 5,000 on FanDuel. A lot of minutes, plus minus negative 157. All right, a lot of rebounds. Good amount of assists. Not too many steals. 12% assist percentage. 60 turnovers and some fouls. So he's a fouler. He's a fouler. All right, let's go with some lineups. And so, of course, mostly they're going to have Andre Drummond in the MVP spot. You're going to see a lot of that. So let's just go. We'll go over a couple of these lineups first, just to see what they throw at us, and then I'll break down some lineups with those lower price guys, so we can get, somebody in our MVP spot that's not Drummond, but have Drummond in there too. It's easy to get good guys in, but I mean, it's kind of easy to roster today. It is not a struggle. You will not struggle rostering guys today. It's easy to roster today. These lineups are just building themselves. So, I mean, with 2 mediocre teams, it's pretty easy to roster because everybody, does something. So, let's just try to break down a lineup. All right, let's get Drummond out of there. So, we could put SGA in there. We could try to... So, let's say we put Paul in there. We want Drummond. We don't necessarily love Nance, so Let's go one of those really cheap guys. I said Terrence Ferguson. You could go Dort or Delanadova. So if I put Delanadova in there, see, I mean, I have $5K to spend, so I can get rid of him. I can either go Colin Sexton, who we didn't really touch on that much, or I want to play SGA. So look at that. So now, do we put Jalen Hardy in there or Garland? Or do we go a little cheaper? So see, we could put Nerlens Noel in there, and then Kevin Love here. So this is a pretty nice contrarian lineup. You're not going to see this lineup. I left money on the table. You could change this here or here. You can do that. All right, so let's get Paul out of there and put. Let's put somebody a little cheaper in there just so you see what I'm talking about. I don't think I would do this, but say Ferguson scores 30 fantasy points. That's like putting a defense or a kicker in your MVP spot. It has happened before. It has worked out. So now we can put him. We can put SGA with Love we still have. And look at this. Boom. Look at this lineup. Just because we just went dirt cheap on the MVP spot. But if we don't want to do that, we do want to play Drummond, but I don't think Drummond's going to be the one to win the MVP spot in the first place bracket, because so many people are going to have that, and then there's 5 other options, which is limited. So that's not going to win. I'm telling you, it's not going to win today. All right, so if we put Love, all right, let's try Love. He's still expensive, so see how hurting you are right here? So now you're going to have to go to, like, somebody cheap like Dort. I mean, it's very hard to do this, but sometimes you just got to do it. And then we get Drummond back in. You have to have Drummond in somewhere. All right, and I haven't really thought much about him. But if I want to do that, I could do this. But I'm not crazy about Garland, so then I might have to just go here and then get him out of there and go with my C2, my second center option. So I have both Cleveland centers in there, and if they both go off, which they might, this could be a good lineup. All right, it's the Soul Fan Show. Please subscribe to this channel. It helps it grow.